Welcome back. You probably know that India has the dubious distinction of being one of the largest importers of foreign weapons, aircraft, tanks and what have you. That makes us very low on the self-reliance chart. Well, India's very own indigenous light combat aircraft, Tejas, has hit a huge amount of trouble after the Indian Air Force, its primary customer, says that the Tejas isn't good enough to protect Indian skies. This has come as a huge shock to the program. This is an exclusive report by India Today's Sudhir Ranjan Sen.
It is India's proud shot at a fully Desi combat aircraft. After decades in development, the light combat aircraft Tejas entered tentative service last year. The makers of the Tejas have been hoping that the Indian Air Force will be enthused enough to order this little jet in large numbers. This to replace the old and obsolete MiG-21 fleet. But the aircraft project has just run into its latest bout of very severe turbulence. The Tejas isn't enough to protect Indian skies, the Indian Air Force has pronounced. The explosive assertion made by the IAF in response to the government's suggestion that it scrapped current plans to import fighter jets from abroad to meet its combat requirement. The Air Force has said that the Tejas is far behind the two foreign aircraft currently competing for a multi-billion deal to build their aircraft in India, the Swedish Gripen E and the next generation F-16. India Today has learned that National Security Advisor Ajit Doval raised the issue after the government ordered the Indian Air Force to consider Tejas instead of foreign jets. India is desperate for single-engine fighters to replace the aging MiG-21s. The country needs at least 42 fighter squadrons to fight a two-front war, but currently has only 33. The situation gets complicated when at least 11 of the 33 squadrons of the IAF will have to be retired in the next 2 years. So far, the Air Force has ordered 123 Tejas fighters, but wants a better single-engine fighter to make up for the huge shortfall in the fighter strength. With the IAF now revealing a bleak outlook on the homegrown fighter, a huge question mark now rests on the future of the indigenous aviation effort.
The fighter fleet of the Indian Air Force is dropping sharply and is likely to reach unacceptable levels very soon. The reluctance or hesitation of the Indian Air Force to accept the single-engine fighter stems from the fact that it needs capabilities to put up a credible defense. On the other hand, the decision of the government stems from the fact that it wants to make India a defense manufacturing hub and reduce India's dependence on foreign platforms. The big question is, where does one strike a balance? With camera person Sudhir Kumar, Sudhir Ranjan Sen for India Today.
And editor Sudhir Ranjan Sen, who's accessed that explosive Indian Air Force presentation to the government on the Tejas, is joining us live now. Sudhir, on the one hand, two big pieces of revelation in your news break. A, the Indian Air Force saying the Tejas is suboptimal. It does not meet our full requirements in terms of what we need to protect the country. And B, one of the big flagship programs to import and make in India fighters is something that the government wants the Air Force to reconsider.
Well, yes, Shiv. I mean, and in fact, they have given a very detailed presentation saying, you know, the reasons why the Tejas doesn't match up, because Tejas is still in the process of being developed. We know that another upgraded version of the Tejas is likely to come.
Okay.
You know, all those things are happening. At the same point of time, India was considering getting these two other fighters to the Make in India route. Now the government says, forget the Make in India route, just go for the Indian homegrown fighter.
Okay.
And the Air Force is not at all happy with it. They're in fact very, very apprehensive about what, you know, they're going to face in case they only have to use the Tejas. Shiv.
Okay, thanks very much, Sudhi. This is a big report that's going to have a high impact. We're going to put those questions to both the Ministry of Defence and the Indian Air Force to get more clarity. Both high-profile flagship programs of the Indian government. We're going to have to see where things actually go. We'll keep a track of that story. Thanks very much for watching today's edition of 5 Live. We'll see you at the same time on Monday. Preeti has the headlines and the big story on the Ryan International School coming up after this break.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.